Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Wakakadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations unto the elect of the nation of Israel. This is your brother Ayash Gabar from the GMS Virginia camp, coming at you with another short lesson that I pray that you find edifying. And the title of this lesson is going to be called Perilous Times. And, that's exactly the time that we're in. Perilous times. Times of evil, times of great heaviness, times of death. And, still, there's a lot of people coming into the truth who need the proper guidance. There's a lot of people who have been in the truth who are not giving the new people the proper guidance. And, and it's all through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai that any of these lessons come forth that edify the flock. So, enough of my rambling. I'm going to get on to scriptures. I'm going to start off with the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 3 and verse 1, and it reads, "Know this also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, and holy." And that's exactly what you see in the world. This is actually a common thing amongst the people. And when I say amongst the people, I'm talking about, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, which make up the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. You people have actually become lovers of your own selves, with, like all these selfies, having birthdays, and, glorifying yourself, celebrating yourself, covetous, boasters, and Jake loves to boast when he gets a little bit of anything, You give Jake a little bit of something that he's never had, he's got to boast in it, he's got to throw it in a lot of people's faces, blasphemers. And this is a very big thing amongst Israel. There's a lot of blasphemous things going out in the world these days that a lot of people is going to have to pay for, disobedient to parents. And this is another big thing. A lot of you Jakes are disobedient to your parents when the scriptures say, honor thy father and thy mother. Unthankful and unholy. You people actually think that the things that you have gotten are things that you're supposed to get, when in fact you don't realize that, you're serving out a sentence. You don't realize that it is through Yahweh Hashem Yahushai's tender mercies that you're not in captivity the way your forefathers were less than 100 years ago. Maybe a little bit more than 100 years ago, but, you get the point. Things could be a lot worse for you, Jakes, but, you still don't get it. And a lot of you won't get it. So this is going out to those men, women who are trying to do the right thing, in terms of coming into the truth, and who may be one of the hopeful elect. And unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good. And all of these are attributes that Jake has acquired over over, over the course of their lifetimes, because a lot of you Jakes don't realize what time that you're in. You don't realize that some very dangerous times are ahead of you, to the point where you just don't see it. So here it is. You got prophecies that are popping off the pages, and a lot of you Jakes are either scoffing at it, don't believe it, or don't want to see it. You see it happening, but you don't really want to see it, so you throw it behind you as if it's not going to happen. But the scriptures say that the words of Yahweh Shem Yahushua shall not come back unto him void, meaning whatever he said is going to happen is going to happen, whether you like it or not. And you're definitely in those times of wars, rumors of wars, great calamities, the famines, because very soon, they're talking about a cyber attack, on the grid. And very soon, a lot of you people are going to be out of communications, entertainment, lights, basic necessities that you have actually grown to live without. You take the phone away from Jake and he's through, especially the ninja woman. You take these electronic devices away from these people and they don't know what to do. Why? Because they base their entire life around a piece of equipment that is put in place to either track them or spy on them. But regardless to these things that are known about, these cell phone devices and these electronic devices, Jake continues to use them. And a lot of them are going to wonder how these evil times came upon them. Well, you got your prophets out there teaching, preaching, and warning the people, but Jake still don't want to listen. Because as long as Jake is good in whatever situation that he or she is in, they're cool. Can't nothing bother them. For example, you put Jake in a situation where he's comfortable, then, in Jake's eyes, he has nothing to worry about. Even though he's being wicked as all hell, he has nothing to worry about. Because in Jake's mind, he's going to always have a roof. As long as he has a job to pay for that roof, he'll always have a car, especially if it's paid for. Well, nobody can take my car. You know what I'm saying? He's going to always have food. He's going to always have this. He's going to always have that. But Jake doesn't realize that this devil can come along and take these things at a whim. And in most cases, at the sleight of a pen. And that's exactly what happened. This devil has passed laws that would take your possessions from you, even though you worked hard for them, even though you've built a small empire off of them that you think that you're going to be able to pass down to your children. This devil has passed laws that would entitle him to take these things from you, especially in the time of national turmoil. They could take your car, they could take your home, they could take your food, they could take your sources of energy. They can even take you, and put you in a camp where, like a workforce camp, And with these mandates coming out, these devils are going to be able to come and take you if you don't get this J. If you don't get this jump shot, these devils are going to come and take you, especially if you don't fall in line with the new establishment. They want to get rid of you Jakes anyway. But a lot of you people are comfortable being comfortable. And what the Lord say, make no tarrying to come, make no tarrying to turn unto him, before the evil days draw nigh. But, let me get back into the scriptures. Um, the book of Sirach, chapter 5, and I start at verse 1. Set not thy heart upon thy goods. Why? Because your goods can be taken from you at any point in time. Anything that you have can be taken from you at any point in time. And not so much that. You can have goods available at your house and you can never make it there. You have goods in your vehicle, and shit go down and you'll never be able to make it to your vehicle. A flood can happen and just wipe out everything that you got. A fire could come and destroy everything that you work for. So set not thy heart upon thy goods, and say not, I have enough for my life. That's the worst thing you can do, you know, because you got these preppers out there, that prep and gather all this food and ammo and, batteries and supplies for, the up and coming collapse of Babylon the Great. And that's fine. But one thing that they're neglecting to understand is that when shit hits the fan, they're not going to be able to keep those things because people are going to come to them and take their things, because when this famine happens and you got men going door to door, stealing what the next man has, don't think for 1 minute that the eyes aren't going to be on that guy who's not leaving his house, to knock down his neighbor's door. Because trust me, when Tom and Bill realize Jack ain't leaving his house, to help raid another neighbor's house, they're going to come to his house. The same thing's going to happen with Leroy and Ray Ray. You let Leroy and Ray Ray realize that, oh boy, ain't leaving his house. They're going to wonder why. Why ain't you leaving your house, to go and rob the next man's house with us? What you got going on? I mean, it's just going to get that bad that even your friends are going to turn on you for anything that you have that would benefit them. So say not, I have enough for my life. Don't say that you got enough food for your life. Don't say that you have enough ammo to protect your life. Don't say that you have enough friends, that's going to be there to save your life. Because you won't. At the end of the day, it all boils down to faith in Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Period. Verse 2. Follow not thine own mind and thy strength to walk in the ways of thy heart. Yeah. Don't think that what you're doing before these calamities come is going to get you out of the calamity. Just as, it isn't going to do that. And I revert back over to these preppers. A lot of these preppers actually follow their own mind and thinking that what they're doing is for them, when in fact, what they have been doing could be a setup to feed the elect. But they don't understand that portion of it. And thy strength. And strength isn't going to get you through what's coming. You could be Vin Diesel. Nah, it ain't going to get you through. It's faith in Yahweh Shai that's going to get you through it. Your faith in your works. The scriptures clearly state that. But you got men out there, in these other camps that are saying that, you got men in other camps that isn't even one in the flock that Jacob's trouble is about to happen. And then you got those other Jakes in these other camps that are are letting the people know that you got to have your fringes in order to be saved. And that's far from the truth. Your fringes ain't gonna save you. You know, it's faith that's gonna save you, and your works. This comes out a lot. Show me thy faith without thy works, and I will show you my faith by my works. So you have to have faith in order to do the works. You're not going to do the works without faith. Period, point blank. To walk in the ways of thy own heart, and that's a lot of what these preppers do. They walk in their own heart and in their own imagination. Fan, a lot of them even fantasize about the end of the world. But that's just crazy. That's just crazy because they don't understand that they lose in the end. A lot of them think that they're going to rise up from the ashes and be okay on the other side when Babylon the Great returns back to some sort of normalcy. No, no, because when this goes down, Babylon the Great ain't will never rise again. When these calamities hit this land, understand that you're not going back to Nana's house. Nana's house isn't going to be the place of comfort. You're not going to have birthdays nah, man. This place is going to be destroyed. That's going to be the furthest thing from your mind. So walk not in the ways of thy own heart, but instead pray that you walk righteously. Because a man's going is of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah. How can he understand his own way? And that's another thing a lot of people get messed up on. You don't have free will. Understand, you're an actor in the Lord's movie, and he's the director. He tells you what are you gonna do in this movie. You have no control over what you do in this movie. Because if you wake up one day and all you do is wake up, you make you a cup of coffee or drink you a cup of tea, you eat your breakfast, you go to work, you come back from work, you take a shower, you relax for a few hours, you get your clothes ready for the next day, you go to sleep. That's all the workings of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah. He set your daily itinerary. He's the one that said what you're going to do today, who you're going to interact with, and what are you going to say. And a lot of people don't understand that. They think that they have control over everything, and they just don't. But very soon, a lot of people are going to realize how little control that they've ever had. Especially, these E's out here. They're going to realize that they've been duped. And once these people realize that they've been duped and they've been suckered out of their blessing, in terms of the fatness of the earth, they are going to flip their wig. They are going to flip their wig. And when they flip their wig, they're going to look at you Jakes too as being a problem. They're going to look at the elites, of course, going into the book of 2nd Esdras chapter 15, they're going to look at the elites. They're going to look at the authority. There's going to be sedition among men. Because they're going to be like, you know what? Freak this. You ain't do nothing for me. But don't think for a minute that you Jakes are out of the water when that happens. Because although the scriptures say Egyptian shall fight against Egyptian, but the Egyptian going to fight against you Jakes too. Verse 3, and say not who shall control me for my works, for Yahweh will surely revenge thy pride. Say not, I have sinned. And what harm has happened unto me? For Yahweh is long suffering. He will in no wise let thee go. So a lot of people think that just because you've lived so long doing the things that you've done that are wicked for so long, that nothing's going to happen to you. When in fact, you're being set up for judgment. You know, you're, you're being set up in a time where, you know, our Lord is on his way back to execute judgment. But before he gets here, judgment is going to be set in the land. You're going to see a lot of death. You're going to see a lot of people just die, albeit from, you know, these famines, these pestilences, these beasts, the sword. You're living in perilous times. Now isn't the time to go out there and celebrate birthdays and and, and you know, these bullshit holidays. Now is the time to start getting into the spirit of understanding what time that you're in. And the time that you're in is not a time that, you know, you should be in mirth. Quite honestly, you should never be in mirth at this point, because you have always been in captivity for as long as you've been born in this land. Nothing about this place is worth being in mirth over. You're constantly being oppressed. You're constantly being lied to. You're constantly being poisoned. You're constantly being destroyed. What mirth is there to have in this wicked land? But you Jakes have actually turned your destruction into a source of what's the word I'm looking for? You Jakes have actually turned your destruction into comfortableness. You people have actually been destroyed so much that you're actually comfortable with your destruction. It's crazy, man. But you know, I'll end off on that. You know, I don't want to make this too long. You know, I just want to get to the point that you are entering into a time of perilous times. In fact, you're in perilous times. You know, you're one incident away from all-out calamity. You're a few weeks away from a nationwide famine. All this devil got to do is cut the lights off, and you Jakes are through. And they're already talking about that. So, you know, I'll end off on that. So with that, I'd like to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Barash. Double honor to the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations unto the bishops, elders, Akim, and the elect. And into the next lesson, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Hawaratazah, Shalom.